Greetings. Thank you to everyone for coming out to our year-end celebration. This is MadLibs with the Authors, Session 1. This event is brought to you by Strong Women, Strange Worlds, which is a group of authors supporting authors. Our mission is to elevate the voices of women and non-binary authors of science fiction, fantasy, and horror through events like our bi-monthly virtual quick reads sessions. You can find out more about Strong Women Strange Worlds by visiting our website, strongwomenstrangeworlds.weebly.com. I am your host today, Kate Pope, and you can find out more about me and all of the authors participating today in the handout we've prepared, which can be downloaded from our website, and we'll send you a link to the handout via email after the party as well. Please note that recording of this session by the audience is not allowed, and recording of electronic communications, including Zoom meetings and webinars without permission, is illegal. We'll be utilizing the chat box in Zoom to solicit audience input during the session. You can also use the chat box to provide applause and accolades to the authors and chat with other audience members. So if you haven't already, please click on the chat option in the Zoom toolbar and open the chat box. Here's how today's event will run. We have 4 authors presenting a modified version of their work: Sam Liddell, Christy Gardner, Gabby Gilliam, and Christian Knight. Each of them have allowed me to alter a scene they wrote and fill it in with gaps. But to fill it in with the gaps, we need you, the audience, to help us out. But before we get too involved, let's meet our authors. Sam Liddell is the author of 8 novels with Bold Strokes Books. She writes fantasy adventures and historical romance featuring queer love stories at their heart. Christy Gardner is a bi-speculative fiction writer. She is the author of the Broken Stars sci-fi trilogy and the award-winning cookbook Cooking with Cocktails. Furnished with degrees in gender studies and sociology, she crafts queer characters that adventure through space, time, and emotional maelstroms, questioning what identity and home really mean. Gabby Gilliam is a writer, teacher, and a mom. She lives in the DC metro area with her husband and son. She is a founding member of the Old Scratch short form collective. Her first chapbook, No Ocean Spit Me Out, was released in June 2024 from Old Scratch Press. Her novella duology, Drumming for the Dead, was released by Black Hair Press. And Christian Knight writes contemporary fantasy and speculative fiction that centers tales of hope, found family, and community building. Her already vibrant Hope town of Baltimore, Maryland is the backdrop for her work, and there's always a soundtrack for added ambiance. She's a lifelong enthusiast of fairy, fae, folk tales, forests, and fauna. Next, within your Zoom meeting controls, you will see a chat option. If you have questions about anything, put them in the chat, but do make sure you have it set to everyone, or at least me, or I won't be able to see it. And one last thing before we begin. I've already said this, but it bears repeating. All the blanks are going to be filled in by you, the audience. I'll be asking for suggestions: nouns, persons, places, things, or animals; verbs, action words, things you do; adverbs, which are words that describe or modify a verb, like cheerfully, angrily, daringly; adjectives, words that describe a noun, like goopy, small, or excited, among other things. I'm going to be looking to the chat box for these suggestions, so make sure you have that chat set to everyone, or again, at least me. And I feel like I don't have to mention this, but keep it appropriate, or else I'm not going to pick it. Are we ready? Let's see if I can remember how to change my screen sharing. All right, we're going to share. Nope, that was the wrong one. Am I now sharing just one screen? Good, perfect. If I put it over here, am I still just sharing one screen? Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Our first presenter is going to be, oh my, how do we stop that? Does anyone know? Oh dear. Okay, we're going to just ignore that. We're going to be fine. Sam, where are you? Looking for Sam. Sam. There
I'm
you are.
somewhere here, Kate.
There we go. I couldn't see your name and I got very scared. All right. We're going to get started with Sam. Sam, are you ready to type things into your copy of it?
I am ready.
Perfect. All right. We are going to start with an adjective. I need adjectives. Remember, those are words that describe nouns. Small, goopy, silly, ooh, spiky. Spiky is a good start. All right, now I need some plural nouns. And don't worry, guys. I see those other ones coming in. I can come back to them if I need to. Plural noun. I saw aliens. Next one, we're going to do eggs. Whoop. Now I need a food. Something you would eat. Generally, something humans would eat. Pickled herring. A body part. Remember, keep it appropriate. I only pick appropriate body parts. I see. I saw a big toe. A number. Any number. Of course, 42, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. But I like 5,000. Nope, 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 go away. Ah, 5, 4, 9, 8, 5, 4, 3. So that's 5,498,543. Another body part. I'm going to scroll up here and see what we've got. Ooh. Pinky finger. I like pinky finger. Don't know if that's how one spells pinky, but that's how I spell pinky, so deal with it. Past tense verb, an action that you did in the past. Squatted. I saw squatted twice, so we're going to do that. And now an amount of time. 4 days, 7 years, 6 months. Like forever. And Sam, I really do need you to use your best Valley Girl voice when you go, like forever.
I'll do my best.
We're going to give it a little exclamation mark. Ooh. Now we need a verb ending in ing. Love it. Already seeing, I saw washing. Woo, put on my caps lock. We're doing great with typing today, guys. A noun, a person, place, thing, or object. I'm scrolling through. You know what? It was used for food, but we're going to use it as a noun. We're going to do pasta salad. If I can spell, which we all know I can't. A verb ending in ed, past tense verb specifically in ed. Oh, I saw cuddled. I do like cuddled. We're going to do, swerved, actually. We're going to save cuddled for later. I'm coming back to cuddled. Don't worry. I wrote castle. That probably means I need a noun. Sam, can you look really quick? Are we looking for a noun or a location with castle?
I'm not totally sure. The next one I have is a verb.
Fantastic. Do you see where castle is in your piece? I think it's closer to the end.
I don't see
Cool.
a noun remaining.
Well, my guess is that I probably forgot to highlight castle and turn it into something else. So we're just going to eliminate castle.
Okay.
Castle is just gone because this is just how my life goes. So now we need a verb. And I feel like I said I was coming back to one. What did I say I was coming back to? Was it cuddled? I think it was cuddled. It was cuddled. So we're going to come back and we're going to do cuddled here. Or cuddle or whatever you need to make it fit. An adjective, that is a word that describes a moist. At some point I was going to have to pick it. We're just going to get moist out there. Now I need a body part, and I believe this is the last one, Sam.
There's actually a body part at the beginning that I don't know if I got. So we might need one more body part.
Cool. All right, let's look for some body parts. I see a lot of toenails. So let's do a toenail here. Do we get big toe for that first body part? Is that what we're missing?
I have big toe in there at one
We
point.
have another body part. Love that.
Yeah,
Okay.
one
The
more.
other one
No
was
worries.
pinky finger.
I have that one as well.
All right. Well, I see brain. Let's do brain. Put brain in there.
Okay.
All right. Now, Sam is going to transpose everything. She's going to double check that we aren't missing anything. She's not going to suddenly go, oh, look, there was castle. It was a verb. I don't know how castle would be a verb, but I'm not here to judge. All right, Sam. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and give me a double thumbs up and we will let you. All right. So, not actually going to drum roll because that would be really annoying for everybody, but drum roll, virtual, everyone put in your hearts a drum roll in your hearts. And then, Sam, take it away and read us your new modified work.
All right. Thank you. I will do my best not to laugh through this entire thing, but here we go. All right. Aurelia focused on her brain, careful to match her steps to Justin's on the forest floor. Thus far, she had found it difficult to believe simply walking could be so, well, difficult. So problematic, in fact, she thought it a bit ridiculous. She often found herself caught up in the spiky scenery surrounding them, literally. Accustomed to only witnessing such wonders in the pages of her aliens, she was pleasantly overwhelmed with the wood she had once longed to explore. As far as she could see stretched endless, tightly packed birch eggs, all hosting patches of shamrock-colored moss up and down their thin trunks. Boulders the size of pickled herring, tree roots that crept from the ground like serpents, and conspicuously hidden gnome hills, while Lovely added another set of obstacles for her poorly prepared big toe. Then there was the flora, a stunning array of purples, yellows, and fiery reds erupting from the never-ending wall of green. How could she not want to take it all in? Alas, this morning she had already tripped 5,498 and 543 times. Her boots, formerly a polished tawny, now a dull and dirt-covered walnut, clipped the edges of needled shrubs the rest of her party had no trouble avoiding. She envied the way Corin and Justin were at ease while they hiked 2 paces ahead, their heads high as they scanned the path. It was impossible to compare herself to Rigo, as the tall, slender elf possessed a pinky finger that seemed to float above the forest floor. A tree dweller scurried past. Aurelia yelped, prompting a glance from Justin, while Corin, who squatted near their group, called out an answer to her earlier question. It'll be 5 days at best before we get to the mountains. If we keep our pace, we should have the peaks in sight in, forever. Splendid. Aurelia's gaze fell on a bright siskin as it landed in its nest to her right. She stepped carefully over a washing creek as the yellow bird greeted a trio of offspring squawking hungrily from their perch. Isn't summer lovely? Aurelia breathed deeply as a wave of happiness overcame her. Everything is so alive. The entire realm trills with pasta salad. Wouldn't you agree? Corin turned, no doubt to share a look with Justin. Aurelia swerved. She had been trying not to let her naivete show the last 3 weeks since their adventure began. She didn't have the same knowledge of the wood as Justin and Corin. Her time outside of the kingdom of Venastes, even her time outside of the castle, was extremely limited. Still, she imagined her friends understood. It was difficult to believe almost an entire moon had passed since that night in the wood. Stumbling on a rock, she recalled the intense night when she had helped destroy her brother's best friend before he could cuddle her or anyone else the way he had Brennus. It was the same night she left the safety of the life she'd known for 20 years, a life of comfort and familiarity confined within the high, moist walls of the Diremaid Castle. It was a life that no longer included her dear brother, but still hosted her parents, who no doubt continued to mourn Brennus's passing into the other world. As quickly as her mind retraced its steps, the pain of grief overwhelmed her. The tightness of her chest bound her breath, and she paused, leaning one toenail against a tree. She focused on her breathing, then on the sound of Justin's voice. She let it pull her back to the present, and the pain slowly subsided. All right, that was a modified portion of book 2 of my fantasy series, the Odium trilogy, entitled Broken Rain. You can find it from my publisher, Bold Strokes Books, or anywhere books are sold.
Thank you, Sam. That was amazing. I feel like some of them really worked. The squatting worked, the moist kind of worked. There was something else that I feel like really worked.
Yeah, the tripping 5 million times.
5,498,543 times. But who's counting?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Christy. There we go. Thank you. All right, our next author is going to be Christy. Add your spotlight. Okay, perfect. Moving right along. Working on Christie's. We're going to start with, the washing stream. You're right. Thank you, James. The other thing that I thought worked really well was the washing stream. All right. But we're done with the washing stream and tripping over 5 million times. We're ready for another noun. Get us started with a person, place, thing, animal, idea, emotion. Well, not emotion. Bigfoot. Starting off strong. Bigfoot. Bigfoot. Nope. A design, a pattern, like camouflage, plaid, tie-dye, that kind of stuff. I saw polka dots, and I like polka dots. I love a body part. Come on, guys, give me appropriate body parts. I see an earlobe, which is a gross thing to say. But I also see nasal passage, and we're going to come back to earlobe, but we're going to do nasal passage here. This is not a keyboard I'm normally working with. Okay, plural noun. Persons, places, things. Blue star balloons. I love the specificity of it. Another noun. I'm just going to pull some of these plural nouns and make them singular nouns. Let's see. Kerfuffle. One singular kerfuffle. A verb. I do see some that I'm hanging on to for later. I like play. It's very basic. We're gonna play here. And now I've written a natural thing. So a noun that you would specifically find out in nature. I like geode, but I also like slime mold. So I think slime mold here, geode later. Mud pile's another good one. Ooh. An adjective, a word that describes a noun. So slime moldy. Slick. Slick is good. I like slick. I feel like we're kind of getting this like weird slime slick thing, so I apologize. And then now we're going to do geode here because I really liked that earlier. Another body part. I'm going to scroll up. I had said earlobe. We're going to do earlobe here because we didn't do it before. Now a unit of measurement. Inch, centimeter. I see hectacre. Let's just do that right off the jump. I don't think that's how you spell it, but you know what I mean. You're the author, not me. Couple more nouns. Just rapid fire me a bunch of nouns, y'all. I'm going to scroll up. I did see tentacle before. I like tentacle. And then, coffin. Now we need a couple of adjectives, words that describe nouns. Putrid. Ooh. You guys, I'm sorry, because I feel like I'm turning yours into a little bit of a gross one, but and then I see stinky, but I also see odoriferous, which is stinky but like elevated. So we're gonna have a putrid and odoriferous. Whatever thing. That's also probably not how one spells odiferous, but fine. A noun. I saw skunk, but I'm gonna Winnebago. A Winnebago, for anybody who doesn't know, is a big RV. It's a big camper. It's those like gigantic things that you see on the road, generally driven by like. I always think of the scene from Frasier where it's his dad like driving that massive Winnebago. A couple plural nouns to finish us off. I see beaks. And let's see here. Moats. But I like arguments. We're gonna do beaks. And we're gonna do Christy, check really quick, does arguments work there as a plural noun?
I'm checking. I have
Oh no, I've messed up again, haven't I?
No, it's okay. No, you're good. You're good. Okay. I just have one less. If we stop right now, we're good. Just don't put the last word.
Perfect. Then I goofed, as I always do. It's one of my special skills. All right, so we are gonna cut it right there. I will use arguments at a later one, maybe today, or maybe in this session, and maybe this is my little plug. If you guys come back at the end of the day, we are finishing our day with MadLibs version 2, so you might see arguments there as well. I'm doing all that just to give Christy a couple more minutes. When you're ready, give me a double thumbs. All right, and Christy, when you are ready, take it away and read us your new bestseller.
Well, first time for everything, right? Okay. Here we go. Bigfoot crunched underneath Calay's feet. Her breath pooled in the air. She made her way toward the forest's edge. She peered up through the dense branches to find a structure, held aloft by beams secured in place by braces made of pine and metal. The Resistance's signature polka dots netting rippled above. Her fingers clawed at makeshift rungs, and she climbed the ladder one step at a time, desperate for solitude. Cresting the top, she squeezed through a small hole in the bottom of the box, just wide enough for her nasal passage. 3 sides were fully enclosed with tiny blue star balloons meticulously carved into the panels. The 4th was open to the woods, save for a support kerfuffle that ran the length of the structure. Calais grabbed a handful of wool blankets and played them free of the dust and pine needles that clung to their rough fibers. She wrapped them around herself and settled onto the floor. She let her legs hang over the side, peering into the ever-lightening forest. Snow-gripped evergreen branches. Slime mold littered the woodland floor. A hint of frost clung to slick logs and the ferns that dared to billow from them. Geodes peeked between the canopy, settling on Calay's earlobe. It brought little warmth, but even the simple fact that the sun still rose every morning and the moon each night brought her hectares of comfort. The weather was wrong, the planet was struggling, but it was still there. An image of Earth flitted through Calay's mind, cracked, shattered, with fire at its center. Boulders drifted out into the tentacle of space. The topography of the continents unrecognizable. Gone. Calais refused to allow that to be Earth's coffin. This got dark. She was going to stop the others. She just didn't know how. As if in response, a putrid shriek splintered through the air and stabbed at Calay's thoughts. Followed, I added putrid twice. That was my mess up, sorry. Followed by the putrid clicking and whirring of an alien pod in the distance. A stark odiferous of the threats to her species. To the new Winnebago she'd only just made. To her, she rested her forehead on the railing, closed her eyes, and finally let the beaks fall. They were almost out of time.
Ooh, that got like spooky. Ooh.
It did get spooky. I liked it.
I liked the tentacles of space, the boulders in the tentacle of space. That was very cool. I did not like the coffin of Earth. That felt felt a little too,
I'll be honest, it's not that far off from where the book goes. So
Woo! All right. Do you wanna tell us what the book really
sure.
is and where we can find it?
Sure. So this is an excerpt from book 3 in the Broken Stars series, The Stars Inside Us. It released this fall. Book 1 is The Stars in Their Eyes, and book 2 is The Darkest Stars. It's basically about a neurodivergent by disaster who is tasked with saving the woman she loves, the planet, and herself. And things go horribly, horribly wrong. It's all 3 books are available at your favorite bookstore or online. And if you want more, you can go to my website at christygardner.com.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Moving on, we are going to do Gabby next. Gabby, I'm very excited for this first one. So I'm good. While she's still getting her camera on, I already want people to be thinking of the first line of a story. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Do you like green eggs and ham? Anything like that. Oh, Gabby is having issues with her camera. I think if I do that, you might be able to do it. There we go. Perfect. Add spotlight. Okay. So, first line in a story, everybody. Call Ishmael. It was a dark and stormy night. Come on, guys. Give me a couple options, guys. I do like a long time ago. Okay, so Lorena knows my heart. And Victoria, right here, we've got the opening line from Stephen King's Gunslinger series. The man in black fled through the desert, and the gunslinger followed. We're going to go with just the man in black fled through the desert, though, because I feel like otherwise that's going to be a lot. Ooh, guys, they're once speaking to me. All right, the man fled. Nope, not flee. And then you can add to that as you need to. Now we need a couple of nouns. A hinge. And then I did say arguments. Can we put, ooh, I see Pac-Man card, but we're going to put Pokemon card because I believe that's what we're actually looking for. A past tense verb, a verb that happened before. Jumped, hopped, skipped. I don't know why everyone's just jumping in my mind. We did. Uploaded. Now another noun, and here we are going to do arguments. Now I need some animals. Little happy creatures, or not so happy, or not so little. I saw raccoon, and I think I saw raccoon earlier, so we're going to put a raccoon here. Ooh, that is how one spells raccoon. Look at me. Okay, now I need an adjective, a word that describes a noun. Goopy, silly. Scrolling through to see if I missed any good adjectives before. Oh, I like, well, we did slick before. Slippery is kind of similar. Let's do scary. Let's have a scary thing. And now, an article of clothing. Ooh, okay. Okay. Again, I feel like I'm going to this feels like a time that I need to specify that we're going to pick appropriate things. I did see dirty socks. I saw socks and then I saw dirty socks, and I feel like the dirty socks really elevates it. And now a past tense verb. Let's scroll up and see what we had before. How far do I have to scroll to see? Ooh, I like spat or sewn. I like spat. Let's do spat. Because if it's sewn, what if it's the dirty socks? Couple nouns, please. Persons, places, things, animals. You know what? I'm going to use a big gulp slushy drink because that feels silly. And, oh, a sandworm. Now a past tense verb. I saw remembered, and I keep typing the wrong place. EM. That's not how one spells remembered, but that's okay. Our body part, please. I've seen phalanges a couple of times. We're going to do phalanges here. That's your fingers. Now I need specifically a spice, something you would use to flavor. Gabby, I feel like you just saw. Do you want to do it? You know what? Let's do it. It's not exactly what I asked for. But our spice is going to be baby spice, one of the Spice Girls. And feel free to like modify that however one needs to in order to get that in. But it's not where I was going, but it is technically a spice. Okay, now we need another noun, and I'm just going to scroll up, and I saw ear mite earlier. We're going to do ear mite here. And then I guess I was hungry when I was doing this, so we are going to end with two different foods. I see funnel cake, and I feel like, what have we got here? I kind of like ice cream, but I also like bok choy. So let's split the difference and do volcano cake. Just to really keep you on your toes. No, you know what? Funnel cake and volcano cake sound too close. Gosh, Mom, thank you. I'm not picking gizzards. Gizzards are gross, Mom. I can say that because it's my mommy. Let's go with bok choy. I like bok choy there.
I need 3 more nouns.
You need 3 more nouns.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, guys, I need a lot more nouns. I did all of this really late at night. So let's do a ghost. Let's do Ryan Seacrest. And I like pencil or pencil tip. All right. And now I'm going to say that I'm going to use this time to let you guys know that between now and session 2 of MadLibs coming up at the end of the Extravaganza, I will double check everything. So that way we aren't going to be having as many of these issues when we get there. And then Gabby, whenever you're ready, give me a double thumbs. I love the face going into this. This is making me very happy. All right, Gabby, take it away.
Okay. If this was a fairy tale, it would begin with once upon a time, or the man in black fled through the desert. But this hinge begins and ends with Enid. There wasn't a family in Hamelin who didn't owe Enid a Pokemon card. Whether she had set a broken bone, brought a new life wailing into the world, or painlessly ushered an old one out, the villagers of Hamelin had all uploaded for her aid. Enid was always quick to give it. She never asked for payment, though she accepted the gifts of fresh-baked bread or a cluster of chickens when they appeared at her argument. She had once found a tiny brown raccoon tethered to her front gate. She named her Yenna and was grateful for the fresh milk now that Yenna was grown. Enid was a scary healer and happy to help any who called on her. When she walked through town, men removed their dirty socks as a sign of respect. Women bowed. Many a ghost had spat her fresh-picked wildflowers. Their gratitude and love made her labors worth it. When she was just a big gulp slushy drink herself, Enid's mother, Agatha, had served Hamelin as its healer, as had generations of women in Enid's family. As soon as her chubby toddler fingers could hold a sandworm, Enid had crushed herbs for her mother. Agatha would name each one and recite its uses as she remembered it into the mortar. "This is willow bark," her mother said, holding it up for Enid to see. "See its furrowed surface and grayish-brown color? It will relieve pain." Enid nodded her phalanges to show her mother she understood. "This is baby spice. It will quiet the cramps in one's stomach and relieve bloating when brewed into tea." Agatha filled each day with these lessons as she prepared cures for the people of Hamlin. Enid learned to tell which plants harbor cures and which cause harm. She learned that moss could staunch a bleeding wound, that ginger root could bring on a woman's monthly ear mite, that licorice root and red clover could help a woman conceive Orion Seacrest. Enid also learned to cultivate her own herbs, which berries and funnel cake could be gathered from the forest and eaten, and which were poisonous. She learned that a knock at the door is always answered, even if it's in the middle of the night. That bok choy can help calm a worried mother when her pencil is ill. The hardest lesson Enid learned is that sometimes there is no cure.
Beautiful. I know we all now are very happy that we know how to conceive Orion Seacrest. All right. Do you wanna give us a quick little shout out?
Sure. So this is from my short story, The Healer of Hamelin, which appeared in the autumn 2023 issue of Open Door magazine. And I think I have a link for it and other things at my website. It's my name, gabbygilliam.com. You can go there. Lots of fun links, lots of things to read.
Perfect. All right. And we are going to round out our authors today with Christiane, who, there she is. Hey, girl. Add the spotlight. Move, Gabby. All right. Big finish for today. We're going to start with a room, a type of a room. Do love, Gabby, you're sending me directly, as long as you don't care. Oh, goodness. I am torn. I'm torn between the closet under the stairs and the room of requirement, but I feel like let's go with the closet under the stairs. And now we're going to have a verb ending in ing. I like zinging. Now a band. Give me the name of a band. AC/DC, Queens of the Stone Age. Queens of the Stone Age is what I just saw. I'm gonna see what kind of options we get. I'm gonna pick the silliest one. I'm trying desperately to remember what what was happening with this one. I'm gonna go with Beach Boys because I feel like I really appreciate the face that you just made when I said that. So now I need a location. You know what? Lizard Lick, North Carolina. Sometimes the first option you get. Is Lizard Lick, North Carolina a real place? Yes, it is. All right. We can all go after this to Lizard Lick, North Carolina to potentially see some zinging Beach Boys. It's fine. What sort of nouns are we going to find there? Aunt Sarah's sewing basket. I'm here for it. Now a plural noun. I'm going to see what sort of... Let's scroll up and pick a noun from before. I saw clouds way back in the day. So let's put some clouds here. Now I need a musical instrument. I did see guitar before, but I am going to see what else we can get. I do kind of like... Okay. This is another situation where I saw kazoo and then I saw a nose kazoo, and I like the specificity of a nose kazoo. Kazoo. That honestly feels like the sort of thing that you would say like when you're trying to sneeze. You're like, oh, sorry, that was just my nose kazoo. Any kazoo can be a nose kazoo if you believe in yourself. A verb ending in ing. Please do not say kazooing because I can't say the word kazoo that many more times. I like watering. I also like squawking. Let's go with watering though. Now I need a couple of appropriate body parts. Ooh, squelching is good. We're going to come back to squelching. I feel like I like hair follicle. And, ooh, I do kind of like tail. Let's do a hair follicle and a tail. Now I need an adjective, a word that describes a noun. I'm going to see if I can scroll up and see if I get to adjectives here. No, that's too many. I'm still at spices. Does searingly work there? Sure, why not? I like that. I also like ginormous. We're going to save ginormous for later. I would like a verb, please, an action word, something one can do. Let's see here. I like traipsing. Traipsing feels like a fun. Now I need a noun, and I feel like I said I was coming back to a noun, but I've already forgotten what it was Kate was coming back to. I like fence. Fences just feels very random for this. So let's do fence. And now I need a phrase of agreement, something you would say. So we got yup, we got we good. But I really like, oh yeah, like the Kool-Aid man. Christian, you need to say it like the Kool-Aid man, okay? It's very important.
You do this.
I will also accept, oh yeah, as though you are a wrestler. Both works. And then we're gonna end, hopefully I didn't mess every single one of them up, but maybe I did. We're gonna end with another adjective. And I did see ginormous before, and I really liked ginormous. So we're gonna put that here. Okay, we're gonna give Christian a couple of minutes to type everything in. Are you ready to go already?
I think I am.
All right. Tell us more about the ginormous sewing basket and lizard lick.
Okay. When I was here last, Perry didn't give me much time to assess the rest of downstairs. But even still, you'd think I wouldn't have missed the huge closet under the stairs to my left, with grandiose crystal chandeliers and a gorgeous wooden floor, perfect for zinging. There's a stage along the inner wall, opposite the tall windows on the street side of the room, set up for the band that's playing tonight, the Beach Boys. Valley said, and I recognized that name. They've been playing a lot of shows around Lizard Lake, North Carolina, mostly at underground venues or small clubs, but still have managed to raise a big Aunt Sarah's sewing basket. I think Pod has been trying to get Julie to book them for one of our clouds. As I come into the room, I see a group of people sitting on the far side of the stage, where they'd been obscured by nose kazoos. Valley jumps up from the floor and comes watering over to me, a big grin on her hair follicle. Something about her seems different somehow. I can't put my tail on it. Denny, you made it! She surprises me with a searing hug, and I awkwardly return it. She smells like coffee and spray paint. Let me introduce you to everyone. She traipses towards the group, and I catch a flash of gold paint on her fingertips, the source of the paint smell. It seems overly glittery, catching the light from the fence overhead. Folks, this is Denny Myers, your photographer for the evening. They, them pronouns, right? She turns to me to confirm. Sure. Oh, yeah! I feel both ginormous and relieved to be that easily accepted.
Beautiful. And you want to give us a shout out? Where can we find the version of this story that doesn't have grinning hair follicles?
No grinning hair follicles and no, oh yeah, but a third kind of madness can be found pretty much anywhere you buy books. You can go to my website, christianknight.com, to find all of the places where you can buy it, plus lots of details about my stories and a fun Fae directory where you can learn more about the characters and other creatures that do not have grinning hair follicles.
But what if I really want a creature with grinning hair follicles? Will you put it in your next work for me?
I could be persuaded.
Yes. All right, you guys, you heard it here first. I need a grinning hair follicle character. Somebody who does say, oh, yeah, though. Oh, yeah. All I ask for in this life. All right, thank you, Christiane. All right, I'm going to stop sharing this. I have that we have about 10 minutes left. So I'm going to remove that spotlight as well. Let's see if I can pull up. I did save for just such an occasion. If I can find the right thing, which is difficult. I have a couple of options that I have been hanging on to. Because we here at Strong Women, Strange Worlds love our authors, but we do also love our authors that came before us, our authors that couldn't be a strong woman or a strange world, well, in a strange world, because they were not around anymore. And if I can find it, we will do a version from them. And if I can't, then I'm just going to sit here and chat for a second. All right. I am not sharing this with you guys because then it would kind of ruin the surprise. We're going to go through it really quickly, and we are going to see if in the next 5 minutes we can do a piece by Ruth M. Goldsmith. And give me 1 second, and I'm going to tell you just a little bit about her. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. I'm trying not to keep singing this because it is going to be, something. All right. Ruth M. Goldsmith. She is deceased, as I've said. She was a graduate of Smith College and a Yankee on both sides of the family. Ruth M. Goldsmith worked in publishing and for the government on its economic warfare program in Spain and Washington before moving to Florida, where she lived and did her writing. Ruth Goldsmith passed away May 2nd, 2007. And we are going to do a little cutting from her book, or from her short story called Moonshine. So, really super fast, guys. We need some nouns. Give me some nouns, some persons, places, things, animals, singular ones. Scrolling up. Parachute. A verb ending in ing. We're doing it super fast. Lightning round. Licking. Wasn't even what you said. You said linking. I'm going to do linking because I don't really want to lick things. Plural noun. Robots. Body parts. Give me a body part and an adjective. I see a pinky. And an adjective, whole grain. Whole grain is a good one. A noun, please. Shenanigan, singular shenanigan. What else have we got? And great, because I need two nouns. So we're going to do shenanigan and grape. Ooh. An adjective. I'm looking up, get some adjectives. Mossy. Mossy is good. And a verb ending in ing. I saw speeding car earlier. But I like hanging. Let's do hanging. Another verb ending in ing. I'm looking up. I'm seeing dancing. Ooh, trilling. Let's trill. But I think maybe it's going to be trill. Trilled. We're going to do whatever works here. I need an article of clothing, please. Let's not do stinky socks. We've already done stinky socks. But I need another article of clothing. I like garter belts. And a noun, please. A spiral ring notebook. And let's end. We got a couple more. Geez. I need an adverb, please. A word that describes a verb like cheerful, angrily. I like quickly. Quickly works here. A noun, please. And I'm just going to look up, and I had seen snow earlier. We're going to do snow here. A past tense verb, please. And then Stacy, I'm using your leaf pile because we needed to end with a noun, so we're going to put it there. And I saw faxed. Okay, I saw yeeted. And faxed was good, but yeeted was better. All right, guys. Like I said, we're doing that speed round, lightning round. We are finished with this. So here is a version of Moonshine by the late, great Ruth M. Goldsmith. The day Aussie Powell's parachute blew up, I feel like I need to do this with a Southern accent. She was from Florida. Apologies to all the Southerners out there. The day Aussie Powell's parachute blew up, it brought down 2 ducks headed back north and an Ix ship that had been gliding low. Only the ducks were lucky enough to drop out of sight for good and miss the rest of the confusion. For a time, Aussie and his partners lay there where they landed in the dump of palmettos. Under the circumstances, it was pleasant enough to rest there. The accent's going away, it's fine. Even necessary. They'd found the linking hot and tiring, and had offered these findings to each other as robots for sampling the run until they got against giving reason. Then they just kept on sampling. When they opened their pinky now, the whole grain branches above revolved. But the Axians, glassy green, 4-legged and 2-headed, climbed out of their ship and set out determinedly to locate the shenanigan that had brought them down. The 3 men waited until the sound of tramping feet bothered them into raising their heads. The site had been chosen with an eye to the grape. On a clear day and with mossy vision, they could see far across the level ground with its meager scattering of tall pines. Far enough in every direction to give them plenty of time to leave in case someone they didn't feel like welcoming was hanging. They saw the Axians some distance away, spread out fan-wise and trilling towards them. The Florida sun sparkled sharply off the approaching figures, and the 3 looked around for their flat-topped cowboy garter belts and pulled them low over their eyes. Looks like the sheriff done bought himself some uniforms, Oxy said. Man, they sure are bright, Lee said. They must have raised the fines to pay for that spiral notebook. We better be getting out of here, Aussie said. Spanish mung hung still on the branches, and mash dripped quickly down. As they studied the possibility, it meant getting up and going over to the truck and starting it up, which might be difficult because it was an aging snow, and then bouncing over the open ground until they came to the road. It was an energetic measure. On the other hand, as Rance Hawkins finally decided it, we stay still. Maybe they won't find us. Their feet tramped steadily nearer. Aussie found the funnel on the ground near him and, holding it to his eyes like a telescope, peeked out once through the fans and spotted the antennae on top of the green heads. Walkie-talkie, he yeeted disgustingly and shoved the leaf pile in his pocket. That ain't hardly playing fair. All right, and thank you so much again to the late, great Ruth M. Goldsmith for that little addition. And I am going to turn it on over to our next thing coming up. Let me share the right screen really quick. I'm going to do this one. All right, so coming up next, in about 5 minutes, we will get started with our next session, which is improv storytelling, part 1.